My friend, do you not know that the God of heaven is not bound by time, yet he moves in time? He is eternal, yet he chooses moments, appointed moments, holy moments, nights such as this. Tonight is not an accident. This night is written into his plan. On this night, the Lord declares, you will be rewarded. For the word says, your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. The hidden prayers, the tears no one else has seen, the sacrifices no one else has measured, he has seen them. He has stored them. And he has chosen a night to release the answer. Do not think reward is only silver or gold. The greatest reward is his presence, his peace, his hand upon your life. Yet he is also the God who opens doors, who restores what the locusts have eaten, who brings down walls and lifts up the humble. Tonight, September 26, 2025, is a night of crossing over. The world may look at the calendar and see just another date. But in the Spirit, this is a marker, a turning point, a testimony. For the Lord would say, I am not unjust to forget your work and the love you have shown my name. I am the rewarder of those who diligently seek me. And I will do it suddenly, I will do it swiftly, and I will do it in my way. So lift your head. Do not let fear write your story. Do not let delay steal your faith. Tonight, expect him. Tonight, believe him. Tonight, the judge of all the earth steps into your life, not with condemnation, but with reward. And when the reward comes, remember, it is not the end. It is a signpost pointing to the greater reward, eternity with him, the bridegroom, the King of kings, the Lord of lords. Time is a mystery to us, but it is not a mystery to God. We count it in seconds, minutes, and hours. We look at the pages of the calendar and think one day is the same as another. But in the eyes of the eternal, time is his servant. He is outside of it, yet he enters into it. He weaves his will through days and nights, through seasons and years, through what looks ordinary to us, but is in fact holy. There are moments when God chooses to visit his people in a way that changes the course of their journey, moments that carry weight, moments that are not accidents. And tonight, this very night of September 26, 2025, is one such moment. Do you not see how the Lord has ordered steps, how he has brought you to this point? Think of how many nights have passed in your life, countless evenings where you laid your head down weary, burdened, or waiting. But then there comes a night when the waiting ends. There comes a night when the pages of heaven align with the pages of earth. That is what makes this night different. This night has been marked, not by man, not by chance, but by God himself. The Lord has spoken. You will be rewarded tonight. That means this is not simply another entry on your calendar. It is a divine appointment. It is a meeting set by the hand of the Almighty. And when God sets an appointment, he does not fail to keep it. The same one who called Abraham out under the stars, the same one who wrestled with Jacob until the break of day, the same one who told his disciples to wait until the Spirit came. He is the one who calls this night significant. But do not misunderstand. The reward is not limited to coins in your pocket or possessions in your hand. The true reward is the presence of the Lord in your life. It is the peace that passes understanding, the joy that no circumstance can steal, the strength to stand when the world would have you fall. Yet he is also the God who moves in tangible ways. He is the one who parts seas, who opens barren wombs, who breaks chains, who restores what has been stolen. If he declares a reward, then something will shift, something will be released, something will be made new. Tonight is a threshold. When you step across this night, you step across into another place in your journey. The ordinary eye may see only the setting sun and the rising moon. But the eye of faith sees more. It sees the hand of God stretching forth. It sees the pages of heaven turning. It sees the fulfillment of promises whispered in prayer closets, grown through tears, carried through seasons of silence. So do not call this night common. Do not treat it as just another date to pass. It is a holy night because it is appointed. September 26, 2025 is a marker in your story. It will stand as a testimony that the God who holds eternity also steps into time, and when he does, he transforms it. This night is sealed with his word. You will be rewarded. There are things in your life no one else has seen, but God has seen them. The world may not notice the quiet prayers you have whispered in the midnight hours, the tears that have fallen on your pillow when no one else was near, the sacrifices you made not for recognition, not for applause, but out of love for him. Others may never know what you gave up, what you endured, or how many times you chose obedience over convenience, faith over fear, righteousness over compromise. But the Lord has seen every detail. Nothing escapes his gaze. He is not only the God of the great and public moments, but the God of the secret place. The word declares, your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. That means the prayers you thought went unheard were in fact treasured in heaven. The tears you thought were wasted were stored in his bottle. The sacrifices you thought forgotten were written into his book. Every hidden act of faith is precious to him. He does not overlook even the smallest offering of love. If a cup of cold water given in his name does not go unrewarded, how much more the burdens you have carried and the obedience you have chosen in the shadows where no man applauded. The enemy whispers that nothing has changed, that all your seeking has been in vain, that God is silent. But the truth is that heaven has been keeping account. The silence of earth is not the silence of God. The waiting is not abandonment but preparation. What you have done in faith has been building a testimony that will one day be revealed before the eyes of many. For the God who sees in secret does not hide forever what he values. He brings it forth. He honors it. He rewards it. Do not measure the reward by the scale of man. For some, the reward will come as answered prayer, the lifting of a burden, the breakthrough long awaited. For others, the reward will be the peace of God breaking into a storm, the joy of his presence flooding a weary soul, the supernatural strength to endure and overcome. And yet for others, it will be restoration, relationships healed, doors opened, provision released, dreams revived. God's reward is always shaped by his wisdom. He knows what you need when you need it and how best to bring it. His reward is perfect because he is perfect. And tonight he has chosen to make that reward known. Tonight is a night when the unseen becomes visible, when the hidden is brought to light. The Father who has watched you in the secret place steps forth to declare openly, I have seen, I have heard, I remember, and I reward. Take courage in this. You have not been laboring in vain. You have not been forgotten. Every whispered prayer has mattered. Every act of faith has counted. Though no one else may ever know the cost of your devotion, the one who matters most has recorded it. And when he rewards not sparingly, but abundantly, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So let this night be a witness. September 26, 2025 will not be remembered by the world, but heaven remembers. Heaven testifies that your hidden faith is not lost. The Father, who sees in secret, has chosen this moment to make his answer known. What was unseen will be revealed. What was silent will be declared. And what was planted in tears will now return in joy. For the God of the secret place is also the God of the open reward. When people hear the word, reward, their thoughts often run to money, possessions, promotions, or the things that can be held in the hand. And while God is able to bless his children with provision and to open doors in the physical realm, The reward of the Lord is far deeper than what can be measured in silver or gold. Earthly treasures come and go, but the reward that comes from his hand carries eternal weight. The greatest reward is not what he gives, but who he is. To receive him, to know him, to walk with him, that is the reward above all rewards. There is a peace he gives that the world cannot offer, a peace that no storm can shatter. That peace is a reward. There is a joy he pours out, a joy that does not depend on circumstances, a joy that cannot be stolen by the enemy. That joy is a reward. There is his presence, his nearness, the assurance that the God who created the heavens is walking beside you in the valley and on the mountain alike. His presence is the ultimate reward. For what could be greater than having the Lord himself draw near to you, to strengthen you, to comfort you, to lift your head when it hangs low? But understand this, the God who gives eternal rewards is also the God who intervenes in earthly matters. He is the one who parts seas, who brings down walls, who feeds thousands with a few loaves, who calls the dead to rise. He has never limited himself to the unseen realm. If he chooses, he will open a door that no man can shut. If he chooses, he will restore what the locusts have eaten. If he chooses, he will turn mourning into dancing and ashes into beauty. These too are his rewards. They are not earned as wages, but granted as gifts from a loving father to his children. And the beauty of his reward is that it always comes in the way that is best. We often pray for one thing, but he rewards us with something greater, something that fits his higher wisdom. A person may ask for riches, but he gives them strength. Another may cry out for an answer to remove a storm, but he gives peace within it. Still another may seek open doors in one place, and he opens them in another, better place. His reward is always shaped by his perfect love, and therefore it is always right, always timely, always good. This is why the psalmist could say, "The Lord is my portion. The portion of this world fades. The houses, the careers, the accolades, all will one day be gone. But the portion of the Lord endures forever. To have him is to have a reward no thief can steal, no moth can corrupt, no fire can consume." That is why those who truly know him do not chase after rewards, but after his presence. And yet, in his goodness, he rewards those who seek him. Tonight, when he says, "You will be rewarded," know that his words extend beyond what you can see. The reward may manifest in a breakthrough in your circumstances, yes. But it may also come as a supernatural peace, a fresh strength, or a renewed closeness with him. It may come as a healing, or it may come as the grace to walk through a valley with your head lifted high. Whatever form it takes, it is a sign that he is near, that he is faithful, that he is watching over your life with love. So do not look narrowly at what reward means. Do not limit it to what can be spent or counted. Lift your eyes higher. The true reward is not just from his hand, it is his hand itself, extended toward you, drawing you closer, reminding you that to know him is to possess the greatest treasure of all. There are moments in life that feel like a threshold, as if you are standing between what has been and what is yet to come. Most days seem ordinary, flowing one into the next. But then comes a moment when heaven touches earth and the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Tonight is such a moment. September 26, 2025 is not simply a date on the calendar. It is a divine marker, a crossing point, a line in the sand where the past gives way to the future and where God declares, "This is the night of transition." Think of the people of Israel at the Red Sea. Behind them was Egypt, bondage, years of chains and toil. Before them lay the sea, impossible and impassable. They stood at the threshold of despair, yet in that moment God opened a way where there was no way, and they crossed over into freedom. That crossing was not just about geography. It was about destiny. It was a transition from slavery to covenant, from oppression to promise. Tonight carries the same spiritual weight. You may feel hemmed in by the circumstances behind you and the barriers before you, but the Lord is saying, this night I open a path for you. This night you cross over. Consider Jacob, wrestling through the night until the break of dawn. He began that night as a man running, deceiving, fearing. But when the morning came, he had a new name, a new identity, a new destiny. That night was his threshold. He crossed from Jacob the deceiver into Israel the prince. The struggle of the night gave way to the blessing of the morning. So too, this night is a struggle for some, but it is also a doorway. You are not meant to end as you began. What you were is not what you shall be, for God appoints nights to shift identities, to break cycles, to open new chapters. Thresholds are not always easy. They demand faith, because to cross over is to leave behind what is familiar. The Israelites had to step into the path through the sea before it fully made sense. Joshua had to lead his people across the Jordan at flood stage, believing the waters would part. Ruth had to leave Moab, not knowing where obedience would lead her, but trusting the God of Naomi. Every threshold requires trust, but every threshold also carries promise. On the other side is the fulfillment of what you have been waiting for, the answer to prayers long prayed, the destiny for which you were created. This is why the Lord is declaring that tonight is not to be treated as ordinary. It is a moment of passing over. The pain of the past is being separated from the hope of the future. The walls that kept you confined are being torn down. The doors that seemed sealed are being unlocked. What felt like an endless wilderness now opens to a promised place. Do not let fear keep you standing on the wrong side of the threshold. Do not let doubt persuade you that tonight is just another night. Lift up your eyes and see. The Lord is making a way. Step forward in faith, and you will see that this night becomes your crossing point, your testimony, your marker of change. September 26, 2025 is not random, it is chosen. It is the night of crossing over, when the story shifts and the future begins to unfold. The character of God is the anchor of our faith. If He were like man, shifting with moods, forgetting promises, failing in His word, then we would have no assurance, no reason to trust. But He is not like man. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is the God who cannot lie, who cannot break covenant, who cannot deny Himself. And because of this, we can know with absolute certainty that He is faithful. When He says He will reward, He will reward. When He says He will remember, He will remember. His faithfulness is not a passing feeling, but an unshakable reality, as steady as the rising of the sun. The Scriptures declare, God is not unjust to forget your work and the love you have shown His name. Think of those words, not unjust to forget. That means if He were to overlook what you have done in love for Him, it would be injustice, and He cannot be unjust. Every prayer offered in faith, every act of obedience, every burden carried for His sake is remembered. The world may overlook, people may forget. Even those closest to you may never understand the cost of your devotion. But the Lord of heaven remembers. He takes account of what has been given in secret, and He treasures it as a holy offering. Look at Abraham, waiting year after year for the promise of a son. Time passed, and his body grew old, and Sarah's womb remained barren. Yet God had spoken, and because God is faithful, the promise came. Isaac was born not because Abraham never doubted, not because Sarah never laughed in disbelief, but because God is faithful. His word cannot fall to the ground void. Look at Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, forgotten in prison, hidden from the eyes of the world. 13 long years of suffering passed, but God remembered. And in one moment, the prisoner became the ruler, because God is faithful. The injustice of man cannot cancel the justice of heaven. Look at Hannah, pouring out her soul in the temple, mocked by her rival, misunderstood even by the priest. Year after year she wept, but God remembered. The child Samuel was born, and her sorrow was turned into joy. Why? Because God is faithful. So it is with you. The delays you have endured do not mean He has forgotten. The silence you have felt does not mean He has abandoned. The trials you have faced do not mean He has overlooked. His faithfulness is greater than your feelings, greater than your circumstances, greater than the lies of the enemy. What He has promised, He will bring to pass. Tonight, September 26, 2025, He declares His faithfulness over you. He reminds you that you are not forgotten, that your prayers are not wasted, that your service is not in vain. He is not unjust to forget the love you have shown. And because He is faithful, your reward is certain. It may come in a way you did not expect, in a form you did not imagine, but it will come in the fullness of His time. Take courage in this. You do not stand on shifting ground. You stand on the rock of His faithfulness. Heaven and earth may pass away, but His word will never pass away. People may fail, systems may collapse, the world may shake, but His promises remain. Tonight is not the end of waiting. It is the reminder that waiting is never wasted when your trust is in the God who remembers. He is faithful to reward, and His faithfulness will write the next chapter of your story. All the rewards of this world, no matter how dazzling, are temporary. Houses crumble, riches vanish, fame fades, and even health eventually gives way to the passing of time. Yet the heart of God has always been to give His people something greater than what moths can eat or rust can destroy. His desire is to point His children beyond the temporary toward the eternal. Every blessing we experience here, every answered prayer, every breakthrough, every open door is but a signpost, a glimpse of something far greater, the true inheritance reserved in heaven. When the Lord rewards His people on earth, it is real, it is tangible, and it is precious. But even those rewards are reminders. They whisper to us that there is more, that the best is not yet seen, that the greatest portion is not of this world. For what is a financial breakthrough compared to the riches of heaven? What is healing in the body compared to the resurrection of the body in glory? What is the opening of a door here compared to the gates of eternity swinging wide with the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant"? This is why Scripture speaks of crowns laid up for the righteous, a crown of life, a crown of glory, a crown that will never fade away. These are not earthly rewards, but eternal honors, gifts from the King of Kings to His children who endured, who believed, who walked in faith. The greatest reward is not in the gift, but in the giver. To see His face, to hear His voice, to dwell in His presence forever. This is the ultimate promise. Think of Moses. He turned his back on the treasures of Egypt because he was looking ahead to a greater reward. He could have chosen wealth, power, and the pleasures of the palace, but he saw something beyond them, something eternal. Think of Paul. He suffered hunger, shipwreck, imprisonment, and persecution, but he declared, "I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus." He saw the finish line, and beyond it, the eternal reward. Think of the martyrs who gave up their lives with joy because they knew that to be absent from the body was to be present with the Lord. Their eyes were fixed not on the rewards of men, but on the eternal reward of heaven. So it must be with us. We rejoice when God rewards us here, when He breaks chains, restores what was lost, and blesses us with His goodness in the land of the living. But we must never mistake the signpost for the destination. Every earthly reward is meant to turn our eyes higher, to remind us that our true home is not here, that our greatest treasure is not found in the dust of this world, but in the glory of eternity. And tonight, as the Lord declares that you will be rewarded, know that He is not only speaking of what He will do now, in this moment, but also what He has prepared for you forever. The greatest fulfillment of His promise is not bound to a single night, but to the endless days of eternity. The truest reward is the presence of Christ Himself, the joy of the bride meeting the bridegroom, the everlasting life that can never be taken away. So lift your eyes beyond the temporary. Do not anchor your hope in what fades. Tonight is a reminder that you are not just living for today, you are living for eternity. And when you step into His presence, when the journey of faith is complete, you will find that every reward you tasted here was only a shadow of the reward that awaits there. The crowns of heaven, the joy unending, the face of your Savior. This is the eternal reward, the one for which every lesser blessing was preparing you all along.